Welcome to Programming KT. I am explaining about the concept is data types. I will explain about 4 to 5 points about data types. Then you will get more clarity about data types in Java. So let me list out the points. First one is what is a data type? What is a data type? Second point is what is the use of data type? Third point is types of data types. What are the different types of data types available in Java? Types of data types. Fourth one is default values. Default values for data types. Fifth one is range of each data type. Range of data types, I mean each data type has specific range, so I will explain about that. Now let me explain about one by one. So what is a data type? So the name itself indicates that we need to specify type of the data. So at the time of storing the value inside a variable, we need to specify what type of data you are trying to store. So let us imagine you are trying to store some value called 10. So this value we need to store inside a variable. So you need to specify what type of data it is. It is 10, right? Integer type of data. That's fine. We can declare integer type of data type. So this is the data type. To store 10 inside the variable called I, we can specify the data type integer. So this is called data type. Not only integer, we can store character, string, boolean. String is not a data type. String is a class. I mean, long, float, double. These kind of are the primitive data types. So to store that, you need to specify. I mean, corresponding values into a data type. We need to specify corresponding data type. Here I explained only integer. Want to store true. So for that, we can specify some boolean value. Instead of boolean here b, instead I can declare as it say some boolean value. Boolean is a data type to store true or false. This is the boolean value we need to store inside variable called j. For that I declared here boolean data type. So moreover that want to store gender, either it may be male or female. So if it is male, you can store f, or if it is I mean female f, it is male, you can create, I mean you use f. So for storing any one character like f, I mean male or female, you can use any one gender, I mean g. This is the character, right? Char. So for storing character inside variable g, I am trying to use here character. So this is the about, I mean when to use what data type. Moreover that you need to specify the, I mean the data type to store that value inside to a variable. Next one is what is the use of data type. So data type can be used to specify the how much memory is required for that corresponding variable inside a ram. So to specify that memory size, we can use that data types. And the next one is types of data types. So almost we have 7 to 8 data types are there. Let me list out them one by one. First one is byte. Second one is short. Third one is int. Like this, here I declared int boolean char, right? Like that, we have almost 7 to 8 data types are there. Byte, short, int, long. Next one is float. Next one is double. Next one is char. And finally, we have boolean. So each data type have a specific use. So if you want to store the data, I mean small amount of data, first four are used to store integer type of data into a variable. So like 10, 20, 100, 1000, 10,000, like that values we want to store inside a variable, we can use first four. But each one have specific use case. Means byte will store up to 128 to minimum value we can store 127, maximum value we can store 128. Or else I think I explained reverse. I mean minimum value I can store 128, minimum value we can store up to 128 to 127, maximum is 127 inside byte. So let us explain here. If you are trying to store byte b is equal to 127, this is the maximum value. So if you are trying to store 127 into a variable called I mean byte variable of data type byte, so you can use up to 127, either it may be minus 128 or 127. If you are trying to store 128 into a when for byte data type 128 value, you will get compilation error like out of range. So this is the range about byte value. So when I'm explaining about fifth point, I will explain in detail. So for now, you can imagine like byte can store up to 128 is the minimum value, 127 is the maximum value. So memory allocated for byte will be 1 byte. Let me remove this here. So byte will byte memory for the byte will be 1 byte. So one byte means are 8 bits. So one bit is nothing but one bit is nothing, either it may be 0 or 1. So if you are absolute beginner, I mean this is the computer, I mean understanding language, zeros and ones called binary language. So if you are trying to store, let me try to explain about that in detail. What is binary language? So we are the humans. If suppose that if you are trying to print that number called 10, so this is for humans understanding purpose. So for this 10, how machines will understand, do you know? So this 10 will be converted into binary language by 2. Two fives, 10, remainder will be 0. Next one will be the two twos, remainder is 1. Next one will be two ones, 0. So for I mean machines will understand like top to bottom like 1010. So this is the we can understand. For us the value will be 10, for machines the value will be 10 means 1010. Similarly if you are trying to store, I mean we are trying to print capital A, this is for humans. For machines how it will understand, so again this A will be converted into corresponding ASCII code. So for A ASCII code will be 65, right? Capital A ASCII code is 65. Again this 65 will be converted into binary language. Let me try to convert that 65 into binary language. 65, two threes, two twos, remainder is 1. 2126, remainder is 0. Two eights, 0, remainder. Two fours, 0. Two twos, 0. Two ones, 0. So for us it will be just a, for machines it will be 1, I think 1 triple zero double zero one. So this is the binary language, I mean for capital A machines can understand. So here I said for one byte equal to 8 bits. So these things only, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So either it may be ASCII code means it will store 7 to 8 bits. So ASCII codes, ASCII stands for, so this is the, you need to about some, I mean aware of some terms. ASCII code and Unicode. Java is Unicode, and remaining languages like C, C++, those are the ASCII code. So ASCII code stands for, I mean ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So this is about, I mean the previous, I mean old languages like C and C++. For Java, not Java will support along with ASCII code Unicode. So Unicode stands for Universal Encoding Format. So ASCII code means up to we can write 0 to 255. We can write only English language. Unicode stands for any language in the world it will support. I mean, Java will support any language in the world. I mean, ASCII code is only English and corresponding special characters like zeros, dollars, comma, at the date, these kind of special characters. So we have in keyboard, right? Along with all these characters, along with from capital A to capital Z, small a to small z, along with 0 to 9, and these kind of special characters we have, right? I mean, all that character from 0 to 55 ASCII code will represent. But Unicode means you may aware about that some file UTF-8, UTF-8, UTF-16, UTF-32. So UTF-8 means up to ASCII. UTF-16, 32 means Unicode. I mean, any language in the world it will support. Java will support. So I hope you got some clarity what is binary language and what is ASCII code and Unicode. Java is Unicode language. I mean, any language it will support in the world. So next one is I explained about byte. I mean, byte means the size of byte will be 1 byte. 1 byte is means 8 bits. Next one will be short. Short means 2 byte. So somewhat extra here. By for byte we can store up to 128 to 127, right? For short we can store somewhat extra. I can't remember that number, so we can't by heart that numbers. So just we can remember when to use which data type. So int is 4 bytes, long is 8 bytes. 8 bytes of I mean memory is required to store long value. Float is 4 bytes, double is 8 bytes again. So you need to remember this size but not this exact value. So in any online test also they will ask about that exact size but not exact number. So you need to remember that. Next one is char means only 1 bit, either it may be 0 or 1. Not char, I mean boolean means 1 bit, char means 2 bytes. 2 bytes. Anyway, I am explaining about that ranges. I will explain in detail. I mean, and I am explaining about fifth point. So boolean means I mean either it may be 1 0 or 1 bit. You can say 1 bit. So default values. Next point will be the default values about all data types in Java. We show you that till now I covered what is a data type. So to specify the type of data, so which type of data you are trying to store into a variable, what is the use of variable. So to specify the size of memory inside that variable, I mean how much value you are trying to store inside a memory. By using data type we can specify type of data types. I explained about 8 data types. Next one will be the default values. Now let me try to explain about default values. What are the default values available for each data type? So let me remove this content. So default value for byte will be 0. So default values, we can say default values. So byte for default value is 0. You can say short also default value is 0. Int also default value is 0. Long also default value is 0. Float means 0.0. So double means this one also 0.0. Char means some extra I mean only space. In keyboard we have space, right? I mean space tab. So that one extra, I mean not extra, only one space. When I mean this kind of bar will be there on keyboard, right? I mean big button. So that is the default value of char. And boolean value default value is boolean data type default value is false. So this is about data types and sizes and default values. Next, I will explain about range of each data type. Now, let me try to explain with that editor. Here, I am trying to use Visual Studio Code. So let me try to declare one more folder for I can say on top of that programming folder only. I mean root folder. I am trying to create one more extra folder called data types. So data types, I can create one Java file inside that data type example.java. So this is the class type. I'm trying to create one main method. So for this, I think I already created some. I mean some content about the data types. Let me try to copy that and paste here. Data types file. Now let me try to paste here. So I'm trying to maximize it. So first data type is I explained about byte, right? So byte, the size of byte will be 1 byte and a description. It will store the numbers from 128 to 127. I explained about, right? Minimum value we can store 128, maximum value we can store, I mean positive number is 127. Size will be 1 byte. Short will be 2 bytes. Now when you can store, this is the minimum value and this is the maximum value. Don't by heart these numbers. Remember only the size of data type. So if you can store beyond this number, you will get immediately compilation error. Let me show you that. So I am trying to declare, before that let me try to store 127 value. I am trying to store into a variable called I, and data type is byte. So I did not get any compilation error. If I can change 127 to 128, I will get compilation error. Here you are seeing, right? So type mismatch cannot convert from int to byte. So if you beyond this, I mean 127, if you are trying to create any number that belongs to integer data type. So that's why it is saying out of range. So byte can hold up to 128 to 127. I mean minus 128 to 127. So that is the point you need to remember. Next one is short. Short means let me try to store this value. Remove this comma short short. So let me try to end with a semicolon. Now 767 is the maximum value we can store into a short data type. So if I can add 8, I will get out of range compilation error. So type mismatch cannot convert from into to short. I mean that value. I mean short can hold up to 3 to 767. If you want to greater than that number, you need to use int data type. So if I can change this data type as a instead of short int, I won't get any compilation error. So this is about a short. Integer value minimum will be this much amount of data I can store. Maximum this much amount of data. So this one also can I will explain you. So instead of we need to remove that commas. Anyway, we have some feature in JDK 7. I mean, like we can use underscores for readability purpose. Let me explain that one as well. So for integer, maximum value will be 214748364 7. Again, I am saying don't by heart this value. So try to remember this size of that value. So if we can enter instead of 7, 8, I will get compilation error again. So I hope you got some clarity on each and every data type I am trying to explain, right? So 7. So in JDK 7, we have feature called for readability purpose like thousands, I mean hundreds, ones, lakhs, these kind of things, right? For that we can use underscore. There is no difference, even though I am using underscores, right? For readability purpose, they introduced this kind of concept. So even though I did not get any compilations, now it will be for readability purpose, it will be very easy. So this is about integer. Next one will be the long. So long is the this much amount of data. I mean next to we are integer, it is somewhat big. If integer can hold 4 bytes, long can hold 8 bytes. Next one will be float. So float means if you are trying to store some pointing, I mean floating point of values like 89.99. So in that case we can use float data type, right? So I am trying to store 89.99 value into a data type called float. So we need to one point we need to remember. So all floating point values ends with f. So then only we can treat that value is float value. So float size will be 4 bytes. Maximum value you can store it will be 6 to, I mean float means 4 bytes, and here I wrote like sufficient for storing 6 to 7 digits. I mean after here I entered, I mean 3 digits, right? 999. For that I can store up to 6 to 7 digits here. like this. 6 to 7 digits we can store after, for float. For double also we can store same, but the difference between float and double is we can store up to 15 digits after point. For float after points we can store up to 6 to 7 decimal values, integer, values here. After by using double, after that point, we can store up to 15 digits. This is about float and double. Next one is for double, we don't need to specify at ends with double. If it is ends with f, then that is a float value. If it is not ends with f, that is the double value. Next one is boolean. Boolean is, it will requires only one bit of memory. So default value for boolean is false. Either it may be true or false. You can store it. Default value is false. Character is used to store, any type of character. Default value will be the space. So if you are trying to store, I am trying to store the value about, so all characters must wrap inside a single code. So I am trying to store capital A character, so inside a variable called C. For data type is char. So this is the uses about char. Not only A, you can use any kind of special character. So here I am trying to use different types of character, right? This is also one character. On keyboard we have, right? So this is also one character. So this is also one character. So all these are the ASCII code characters from 0 to 255. So search on Google what is ASCII and what is ASCII code and what is Unicode. So Java is a Unicode language. Supports any language in the world. It can support. So I hope you got some clarity on data types and what is the data types, what is the use of a data type. Let me show you that. So what is a data type? What is the use of data type? And types of data types, default values about data types, range of each data type. So I explained each and everything. So still you have any doubt, make a comment in comment section. I will reply to that comments. And moreover that you can reach out to me always on my LinkedIn. Directly you can make message or else you can send me mail also. So if you like the content, hit on like button and subscribe Programming KT. Thanks for watching.